The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to An Open Door on the Arts. My name is Barb Richer, and I'll be your host as we travel the Capital Region, encountering the magnificent artists that we have here who enrich our lives every day. I'm especially excited today. I have two very special people here with me that actually I've wanted to be connected to for a while, so this is personally exciting for me. Albany Musica, which I hope you've all heard of, and if you haven't, make this the season that you get out and see at least their last concerts and sign up for next year. They're magnificent and a group that we should be very, very proud of here in the Capital Region. They have a brand new conductor and artistic director rolled into one magnificent man. They're entering their 37th season, their 35th season now. They continue the celebration of this new conductor artistic director, José Daniel Flores-Caraballo. Is that correct?
Good job.
Did I do it? Okay. I practiced that for a while. And I will be calling him for a while just José Daniel for purposes of not having to wrestle with his beautiful name. And a wonderful guest that he brought with him today, Karen Hitchcock, who is the president of the board, going into her second year as president of the board. And I just learned, and I'm very impressed, that she also is a singer with Albany Musica and joins when they do their Masterworks concerts. So for sure, you're going to be wanting to get to the concert May 2nd because you'll see both of those folks at that concert, and I'll probably be there too. So we'll begin with José, and it is my great pleasure to introduce him to our audiences. And I'd like to work in a little quote. Doing a little bit of research, found a quote by a Times Union reporter who was interviewing José and watching him, I think, at one of his rehearsals at the Troy Music Hall. And this is how he described him. He said, "It's a voice that lilts of Puerto Rico and a baton that utters volumes." And I think that that captures a lot about him. And so, José, I'm glad to have you here on the show.
Very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
And Karen, equally happy to have you here on the show.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
José, I wonder, can you tell us a little bit about your journey, just getting here? How did you end up here in the Capital Region with our fantastic chorus?
Well, what brought me here was from a professional perspective, learning about Albany Musica. Albany Musica is a magnificent chorus. You rarely find a community chorus that have achieved such a high caliber at a professional level. And that was the case with Albany Musica. So I was very excited from a professional perspective to be here in that regard. From a personal perspective, my wife and I always had an eye on the Northeast. We thought that this was the place to be. Not only personally because we like the change of seasons, we like the area, but also at a professional level because we very much understand the level of education, the level of appreciation for the arts in the area. And in my career, well, that's something that is very important. So we wanted to be part of this community, and that's basically what brought us here.
But you actually began your life in Puerto Rico, and I read that you were playing the organ when you were 10 years old.
Yes. I started when I was 10. and I started conducting the adult choir when I was 12. Imagine that.
I can't.
It was a great experience. I grew up there as a son of a minister. So the between the lines story is that my father was basically exploiting me. He needed a musician, so we did it. No, but it was a wonderful experience because very early on gave me the opportunity to grow musically, because there's something that the experience gives you that education can't. And so in my case, I started with experience, and which then was followed by education. And the experience never stopped throughout my education, which was really important in my career. So yes, I started in Puerto Rico, and over there I was holding positions in churches, but as well I was holding positions in the academic world. And by the time I left the island, I was Dean of Academic Affairs at the Conservatory of Music of San Juan, which is a conservatory that was founded by Pablo Casals. We're very proud of that organization.
How
it was a wonderful experience. From there, we moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and from there to Florida, Vero Beach, Florida. And we thought that it was too warm there, so that's why Karen convinced me that the weather was better here.
And then we had this winter.
This was a really bad winter for you to come on up here. But I think both in Albuquerque and in Vero Beach, did you find very rich arts communities in both?
Oh yes. Every community you find that you have people who love and support the arts. I have to say though, I have found something very special here in that regards. I think you must be very proud of that, because when you see the amount of performing art activity in this area, it really is quite impressive, and you can sense when the audience come to be part of a concert, the level of appreciation. I mean, it's really very impressive. We're very impressed with that. I'm very happy that we made this decision to be part of this community.
Well, I've only met you twice, and I've seen Pro Musica just since your tenure with the Albany Symphony. And just as one lone voice out there, I'm very, very happy that they've made this decision, and you're with Albany Pro Musica. It feels like a nice fit when we see you together. Karen, what were you looking for in your new artistic director, conductor, and what appealed to you about Jose?
Well, very much as an organization, we were at a transition point. We had lost our founding conductor, David Griggs-Janauer.
And that was a very big and very sad loss for the entire course that had worked with him for so many years.
It was, and he had brought the organization to a level of professionalism, if you will, that was something we were very proud of and wanted very much to expand on that legacy. We very much thought the best way to honor David was to expand the legacy, not have the same, but to have new directions and new thoughts. And as a group, we wanted to move ourselves into a larger spotlight, to talk about more the Northeast than just the capital region, and yet the capital region is our home. And very much to be part of the whole capital region, notwithstanding Albany Pro Musica, very much to talk about the whole region. And so we were looking for someone who could dream
really big
with us, and someone who would honor David's legacy, but would have his or her own view on making Albany Pro Musica something different, something equally good, and then more, and then even better, and also with a larger reach, both geographic and challenging with regard to programming. And very much to expand on our educational programs. So all of that we were looking for, and we found it in Jose Daniel, someone who, as you just heard, has both the experience as well as the academic background, but the musical expertise and the personality that would get us there.
I think. I think that's evident, and it's exciting because when you when you hear this course, it's so phenomenal. It's so big. It's so beautiful, and you want to take it beyond our region. And like this program, there's so much that we have here in the Capital Region, but we are just steps away from so much else to grab onto.
But to be an emissary of the region to other places
is so important.
It
and
really
the kind
is.
of emissary that this course can be is amazing. It's very polished and so very beautiful.
Well, I believe it goes beyond. It goes beyond the artistry of the group. Of course, I was very impressed with the artistry of the group, which is the wonderful legacy that David left here. But there's something else about the group that captivated me, and this is a group that has a great soul. They sing from their hearts.
Yeah.
We say that Albany Musica elevates the art, but also speak to people's heart, and it's because it's coming from their own hearts. It's a group of people so highly committed to what they do. They have such passion, such love for music. They're so committed to be pushed to the limits and to be always better and better. And you don't always find that in a community group at this level. So it's very inspiring.
I think you put it perfectly. That's exactly what I was trying to say, and I think that sound that comes from their heart is the fullness of what you hear when they sing. Now, just because I think our viewers may not all realize that that the members of this group are all volunteers. This is a volunteer group, so that their dedication and determination to make this the best and most wonderful choir in this region really does come from their heart.
Oh, absolutely, and they come from all kind of different paths of life. I mean, we have people there with a professional music degree. Some of them, many of them, are conductors, very good conductors who have jobs in music, of course, and others who have diversity of careers, and they come. Some drive more than an hour to be there in rehearsal.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a very diverse, highly committed group.
That's astonishing and so wonderful.
They do come from all over the Capital Region, and indeed the Berkshires as well.
Right.
Right.
So it's a diverse group, and as Jose Daniel says, a very committed group.
We are very, very, very fortunate to have them here.
Yes.
But we are also very, very willing to be behind you and send them out to share their spirit and their beauty and your vision to places far beyond the Capital Region. So I think that's what's going to be coming up. It sounds like it. I know that there's something else completely wonderful that happened. You came on board in October of 2014, and then November of 2014, a very, very exciting step was taken with Troy Musical.
Right.
Oh. Now, either one of you, I would like to speak to that, because I think that's just phenomenal.
Oh, we both can.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yes.
Well, the Troy Music Hall is such a treasure, isn't it?
It is, indeed.
The Troy Savings Bank Music Hall, and it's world-renowned for its acoustic. It's utterly beautifully restored in its, as John often says, in its pristine form. But it's a marvel of a place, and it occurred to a group that this might be a good partnership, that the hall matched the quality of the group, and the group matched the quality of the hall.
So
and,
amazingly wonderful
yeah.
that thought came to somebody, because it couldn't be a better marriage.
Well, Jose Daniel has been the leader of the initiative now to make this happen. He's been working with his counterpart over at the Troy Savings Bank Music Hall, John Elbaum, and have developed a wonderful set of, it's more than we being in residence, which we are. We are now their company. which is a thrill to have such a hall.
And
But
to be
we
able to
are
say residents in it's wonderful.
exactly. But we're also partners, and I want Jose Daniel, if you could speak to that about the other partnership.
Okay.
Well, it is truly exciting to see in this capital region this spirit of collaboration. You might know too that we're partners with the university in Albany, SUNY. That's where we rehearse. That's where David was part of the faculty. So we have great support from the university. But we did not have a home that we could call our performance hall. So the group was basically going to different venues in town. Nothing wrong with that, except that our public possibly had a hard time trying to follow where is that Albany Musica was going to perform. And what I confess to you is that one of the first things that I did when I came here was going on an excursion to see our different sites, our different venues, because I needed to understand what the group has been doing and all that.
And you needed a home too.
And yeah, exactly. I needed
Where
to
do I hang
know.
my
So
hat?
I was there with a map, and someone else was driving. I had no idea where it was. But then we went to these different sites, and I can still remember the first day I stepped into the Troy Music Hall. And two thoughts crossed my mind. One was, am I in Vienna?
Yes.
Because you look at the hall
Exactly.
and you think you're there in a
Exactly.
19th century Vienna
Yes.
hall. It's just incredible.
Beautiful.
It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. 18th century. And the other thought that I had immediately was, why is this not our permanent performance venue?
And how can it be?
And how can it be? So, of course, once you learn about the history, all the big names, all the historical figures from the music world that have been part of this hall and who have praised the hall, and the fact that it's known nationally and internationally, it only made sense. So I commend our board and the board of the Troy Music Hall for the vision in supporting this. I think it's a major step. All major choirs in big cities are associated with an extraordinary performance hall. So now I think we're so happy that we have achieved this milestone in the trajectory of this group.
Now, when we say there's your artists in residence, is this a year-to-year thing, or is there a long-term hope that this will be beyond just this year? Or
The idea is, I mean, we are all intending for this to be a long-term relationship.
Wonderful.
We see the value in the two organizations, but also the two cities, and bringing together all these and great synergy and all that. So.
that's
In fact,
amazingly
I think
wonderful.
it was wonderful that at the press event where this was announced, the mayors of Troy and Albany were present at the Troy
nice.
Music Hall.
Yeah,
So
that's wonderful.
It's very much something that reaches across the river.
river,
Dare we say?
absolutely.
But also the boundaries that often divide us.
But this truly brings us together, and enriches both places. I mean, obviously it's all the things you said and more. It's a gem. It's this beautiful gem that just sits here, and it's remarkable that we have it here. But they're so complementary. The chorus and the setting are so complementary in the arts, I think, because the sound is so enriched, and the chorus gives those walls something to bounce back to,
Exactly.
that they need, that they ought to have. And so I just think it's magnificent, and hope it goes on forever, this residency.
Yes. And it goes both ways. We're excited because we know the historic importance of this place and the beauty of it and so on. But it's also comforting to know that they're equally excited, knowing and that they wanted to have Albany Musica there. Is a statement that again recognizes the great trajectory of this group and how it is perceived in the community. So they also see that as an asset, and we're excited about that.
Will you be taking it on the road, the course, or will all of your programming be out of the music
Basically,
hall?
most of our programs will be there.
Okay.
We will want to take some programs, depending on the nature of the program, to other places, but also to keep contact with other areas in the capital region. But most of our programming will be there.
I read, I know too that you also perform with other arts entities throughout the region. That will continue?
Oh yes, yes, absolutely. We are the chorus that the symphony hires, as you recently saw in a concert. So we do that every year. It's a great collaboration with the Albany Symphony. We also believe that this collaboration that is now evident between these two cities needs to go beyond that, and you will notice that when we talk about next year's season. There are some programs that we have done thinking that we really need to bring other organizations to work with us, even if they're not musical organizations. So
I'll bring up another quote. There were two quotes. There were many quotes in the material I read about your conductor and artistic director, but this one actually I think maybe leads to what you were saying. And sadly, I can't give credit to whoever said this. Well, you said it actually, that you have a yearning of combining choral music with other forms of expression, such as film, sculpture, and dance, which sounds very exciting. I am someone who loves to see the partnerships that various arts can make together.
Well, an example of that is there's a program that we have planned for our 35th anniversary season, which is this coming year. That was inspired on the nickname of this Albany, City of Immigrants. So when I started my research about the area, that immediately prompted the idea of, oh my goodness, the incredible cultural heritage of this place must be part of a concert. So we intend for that concert to have music from each one of these countries that made this area.
How exciting!
We are going to commission a painting to commemorate this event. We are planning to have art exhibitions and have museums involved. We expect to have writers from the area and other artists being part of the creativity that could go to be part of a whole week of celebrations that will culminate with the concert. That will also include a local group of dancers, and we expect to commission a music selection for choir, for the musicians of Malbec who are going to be playing at that concert, and for the dancers. And so we're going to create new music for this event. It's going to be a celebration that we expect the whole capital region to be involved and proud of.
I cannot tell you how exciting that sounds. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That's so much what great art in any big city ought to be thinking about, is how to bring all the artists together and to recognize their contributions through the years of so many talented immigrants making this the capital region. And with the musicians of Malbec, that will be wonderful. That's very much the kind of thoughts that she has also in the performance of her music. I know. So that's wonderfully exciting. Yes. You've already made some wonderful partners all over the place.
But you know what? It's very easy. And that's another thing that is remarkable about this place, and I don't know if people are really aware of this. I have found such a welcoming community here, colleagues from this area, and so many fine musicians. They have been so welcoming, so open to collaboration, and that's really comforting to know that we have here that kind of spirit.
Across generations as well, because José Daniel has worked with now the Capital District Youth Chorale, and they bring a wonderful depth, if you will, to the programming.
I knew
So
that
it's
that
really-
was happening too. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I think sometimes maybe it takes a new man on the block, a new person, to help us rediscover what great treasures we have all around and how can we bring them all together. I think those of us who are here, we know each other, we know what we all do, and maybe don't have that new vision to just come in at that moment and say, let's really utilize each other in creating art for a broader audience. I think that's amazing.
That happens at different levels because, of course, we get used to what we know and we stop seeing things.
Yes, exactly.
And one level, for instance, I could tell you, I remember at the Christmas concert, it was snowing during the Christmas concert, which was packed. And I remember telling people how my wife and I think that winter here is so beautiful. And I immediately saw the faces of people saying, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
We want this to be over. But then I spoke a little bit about that and the beauty of the snow and the horizon and all that. And I started to see some of the expressions change. And by the way, that concert we finished singing White Christmas with the audience joining the chorus. And I think it was probably the best piece of the concert because everybody was really singing from their heart, thinking, yes, there's great beauty here. So it happens at different levels. You come new to a place and you see the great potential, and I think this area is simply fantastic.
If your mind and your heart is open, you can reach out to a lot of people.
Right, very
and maybe
true.
we will all start loving snow again.
Who knows?
I don't know.
That could well be.
Would you like to say a couple things about, you have a wonderful concert coming up on May 2nd, and maybe you'd like to say a couple words about that?
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Where you're going with your new
Absolutely.
season?
We're very excited. We have had a great year, but we're incredibly excited about this concert. I want people to look at their calendar right now and simply schedule May 2nd because it's going to be a wonderful concert. We're presenting the Requiem by Gabriel Fauré, but we're also presenting the New York premiere of a Requiem by a Puerto Rican composer, Raymond Torres, which is very, very beautiful. And we're performing with the Albany Orchestra, the Albany Musica Orchestra. We're performing the Adagio, the famous Adagio for strings by Barber.
Beautiful.
It's going to be a very inspirational program on May 2nd at the Troy Hall. Our first program at the Troy Hall this year in anticipation to our new collaboration.
A debut.
Yes.
A debut. And so we all need to be there to move this forward.
Yes.
I'm very excited to hear a few words now about the 35th season, your brand new season that's coming up. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about it. It's probably not firm yet, but maybe you could tell us a little bit about what you're planning.
Oh, absolutely. The season will begin with a joint concert with Troy Hall. That's the official first concert of our collaboration in October, when we are going to present a tapestry of masters. People who have been there you have seen the names of composers engraved in the building.
Yes.
The major composers. That's what we're going to do. Take some of the major works that have given a name to Albany Musica in the last 3 decades, and we're going to do some of the favorite movements from those major works. It's going to be a great concert. After that, and that's with full orchestra. In December, another great program with full orchestra that is called the Many Moods of Christmas, with great music again, and with great opportunities for the audience to be part of the concert. And then the Immigrants concert that I already mentioned will be part of the season. And the fourth program of the subscription concerts will be a concert version of a musical. And that we intend to do in collaboration with Proctor's, which, as you know, is considered our local Broadway.
Yes.
So another program with orchestra, and we're still trying to decide on a few details on that, but it will be a very exciting
at the
project.
Troy Music Hall?
That one in particular will be at Proctor's.
Oh.
So yeah, that basically sums the season. But people will soon be able to see more details about this at our website, which is albanypromusica.org.
Well, we will have that also at the end of the program, so people will know. And I've been to that website, and whoever's doing it is doing you a masterful job. It's a really lovely website.
Thank you.
All the sections are very nicely done. So I'm going to close. I hate to say goodbye to you. I could sit here and talk to both of you for another 45 minutes. It's just been wonderful having you here. You're bringing great things to Albany, and we're so grateful, and hopefully we'll all turn out and share the great things with them. Yeah. I'm happy to have been here with you today, and happy to have met these wonderful people, and I encourage all of you to get out and become subscribers, at least begin with 1 or 2 shows, but I would subscribe to all 4 because I think they're going to be wonderful. We will see you next time around. Be well. Remember Albany, open door on the arts, and I'll see you next time.